Hello, YouTubers. I have been absent for a long time. Ballot 1922. I've been missing for a long time. I had other things on my plate, and well, here I am back again. And let's talk about democracy. We've got an election here in Australia, and it's a very tight sort of election. We have John Howard. He's been going for 11 years, and he's itching to stay on and keep the ball rolling in that direction, and we're not all happy about that, but never mind. We'll see what happens when the election gets finalised towards the end of November. But thinking about democracy, we have a bit of a problem because basically democracy, like Christianity, has never been really tried. See, it goes further than the kind of party politics that we have, which is really quite disgusting, and of which ordinary people are completely left out, and no say at all, except every so often they're able to have a vote to register their disapproval. That's not very constructive, I would say. I think that we need a situation where ordinary people can actually have access, not just by a phone call or by answering to the letters to the paper, or even radio talkbacks and that sort of thing. I mean, these are a bit gimmicky in my view, because after all, who takes any notice of what you say in those situations, or the letters that you write? No one worries. No one takes any account of them. The power is all centred at the top, and that's all about it. And so these things like letters to the paper and talkback shows and that kind of thing, they're really gimmicky. They're just a bit of an excuse, a bit of a salve of the conscience, if you like, for the people in power to let you have a bit of access like that, which doesn't count for anything. I've been arguing for a long time about this ballot business. You know, every parliament, the whole executive should be in the parliament, in my view. That's the way we have it here in Australia, the same as in England. And the executive has all the power in party politics until they get thrown out at the next election. If we're lucky enough to have them thrown out, sometimes they really con us with enormous advertising, false claims, scare tactics and all these kind of things. They manage to hold on and con the public into letting them have another go. So it's far, far from satisfactory. What I've been proposing for a long time is that our parliament, which fortunately contains the executive as well, should be based on a ballot. So that every decision is made by a really secret vote of each of the representatives, and the ministers of the executive are all elected individually according to who's the best, and so you have a different ball game altogether. All of the representatives have basically become independent because the parties are not going to have a bar of supporting them if they don't know how they vote. And some people say, well, we members of the public, we don't know how they vote either. Aha, but this is where the accountability can really start in a different direction altogether. Now, if the MPs are all independent and don't have any party support, then they've got to rally the support in the community, and that means that they have got to muster support amongst the constituents by holding public meetings, and those public meetings give a very, very significant chance for members of the public to make their presence felt, to make intelligent suggestions, constructive suggestions, and to criticise what's going on in Parliament. And you might say, oh, well, you know, what can you do? We don't know how the fellow's going to vote. But you can get to know your representative under these situations in a face-to-face contact. And face-to-face contact is much better than trying to do anything at a distance with people that you've got no control over. Actually, public would have a pretty substantial control over a representative who has to be an independent. Yeah, so there we go. That's my notion of what democracy should be. A kind of an equalising force in the community. It's interesting that in the French Revolution, their slogan, their idea, their values consisted of liberty, equality and fraternity. Well, democracy is what? Love of people. That's what the difference between democracy and power. Power is love of self. So that's where you get the egotistical people who know everything and they want to do it their way and to hell with everybody else. No. Real democracy is more like what the French said. Liberty, equality and fraternity. How fraternal is it when parties, leaders abuse each other? And Parliament is often in a state of uproar with arguments and aspersions, denigration of others, this kind of thing. That's not democracy. I wouldn't call that democracy. Not at all. Anyway, these are a few thoughts that I've come up with at the moment, and maybe I'll come back shortly. I don't know. I've been away for a long time, I freely admit it, and I apologise to everyone, including Court Minister 262. I've been happy to look at his things, and he's a fairly outspoken guy, and I'm not normally outspoken, but this time perhaps I have been. Anyway, God bless, take care, and all the best for the future, because we certainly need encouragement. We need a better future than the kind of stuff we've been used to. We need a real democracy wherever we are, so that the people have some chance of actually containing the powers of government. Well, goodbye for now.